Most men over 50 think ED just happens, until one moment forces them to face a truth they never expected. Your body didn't fail, your blood flow did. If your firmness changed, even once, that wasn't aging. That was your vessels whispering the first warning. And the longer you ignore those whispers, the louder they get. I'm Dr. Claire Monroe. Let's cut straight in. Because the real reason your performance shifts has nothing to do with desire, and everything to do with circulation, nitric oxide loss, vessel stiffness, and silent pelvic tension no one teaches men to recognize. Once you understand these simple systems, ED stops feeling like a sentence and starts looking like a map you can follow back to strength. Stay with me, because the next few minutes may explain your entire last 10 years. Let me show you what actually happens before ED shows up, because it never starts in the moment you think it does. It starts quietly, long before the first disappointing night. Here's the real mechanism. Not theory, not hype. Just the simple biology no one told you. An erection is nothing more and nothing less than blood entering fast, staying trapped, and flowing through relaxed vessels. That's it. Desire is optional. Confidence is optional. But blood flow? Non-negotiable. And when blood flow slows by even 10%, performance can drop by 50%. Most men never see it coming. Here's why. After 40, the lining inside your arteries, the thin layer that controls opening and closing, becomes less reactive. Stress stiffens it. Sugar irritates it. Poor sleep weakens it. And nitric oxide, the molecule that tells vessels to relax, drops every single decade. At first, the change is tiny. You need a little more stimulation, a little more time, a little more focus. Then one day, it doesn't respond the way it used to, and you panic, thinking the problem is you. It's not you. It's the first stage of vascular fatigue, and it's reversible. I've seen this pattern thousands of times. A man feels fine. Then suddenly, firmness becomes inconsistent. Not gone, just unreliable. That unreliable phase is the window where most men can make the fastest improvement because the system isn't broken yet. It's just tired. Think of ED as your body tapping you on the shoulder, saying, your blood vessels need help now. Because here's the uncomfortable truth, ED is often the earliest sign of circulation decline. It shows up years before heart issues ever do. That's why ignoring it is dangerous, but understanding it is empowering. And what's coming next will explain exactly why natural remedies work for some men and fail completely for others. If you want to fix ED, you need to understand the one pathway almost every man over 50 loses without realizing it. And I'll tell you right now, this is where most natural remedies succeed or fail completely. Let's break it down in the simplest way you've ever heard. Your blood vessels have two engines that create nitric oxide, the chemical that tells your vessels to relax and open. Think of nitric oxide like the green traffic light that lets blood rush in. No nitric oxide, no firmness. Engine number one is the arginine pathway. When you're young, it's fast, powerful, and responsive. But after 35 to 40, that engine slows by design. Not because you're unhealthy, simply because age reduces the enzymes that run it. That's why supplements like L-arginine or L-citrulline work great for a 25-year-old and barely move the needle for a 55-year-old. If you've ever tried a circulation booster and felt almost nothing, this is why. Engine number two is the nitrate pathway found in foods like leafy greens and beets. This pathway does not decline the same way with age. In fact, for many men, it becomes the main engine keeping performance alive. But here's the twist almost no one knows. This nitrate pathway only works if your stomach acidity, mouth bacteria, and blood vessel lining are all cooperating. If one piece is off, the whole chain collapses. Let me show you how simple the chain really is. Step 1. You consume nitrate. Step 2. Good oral bacteria convert them into nitrite. Step 3. Your stomach converts nitrites into nitric oxide. Step 4. Your vessels relax, firmness returns. That's the entire system. For steps. And most men are unknowingly breaking at least one. For example, using antibacterial mouthwash wipes out the bacteria that convert nitrates. One rinse can kill 12 hours of nitric oxide production. Or this, chronic stress tightens the pelvic floor muscles, the muscles responsible for trapping blood. Most men clench these muscles all day and don't know it. Tightened muscles crush blood vessels before blood can even get in. Or this, long-term sitting compresses the arteries running through the pelvis, lowering circulation even when the heart is perfectly healthy. So what happens? Your mind still wants intimacy. Your partner still matters. But your system can't create the blood flow you need. And here's the part most men miss. ED is rarely caused by one problem. It's caused by 3 or 4 tiny problems stacking on top of each other until the system collapses. Low nitric oxide, stiff blood vessel lining, tight pelvic floor muscles, mild prostate inflammation, poor oxygen delivery. Hormonal rhythm out of sync individually, none of these destroy performance. Together, they drain it year by year. But the game changer is this. When you fix one pathway, the nitrate pathway, it starts pulling the other systems back online. This is why natural remedies only work when they target nitric oxide correctly. Anything else is guesswork. And in the next section, I'll show you the exact nutrient combination that activates this pathway and why most men over 50 notice results faster than they expect. You've probably tried something already. A powder, a tea, a supplement, and nothing changed. And you wondered, is it me? No, it's the pathway no one explained to you. ED doesn't improve if nitric oxide stays low. Nothing works without it. Not herbs, not vitamins, not tonics, not hacks. It's like pouring fuel into a car with a dead ignition. The fuel isn't the problem. The ignition is. Your ignition is nitric oxide. Without it, blood flow never reaches full pressure. And every remedy you try feels useless. So how do you turn the ignition back on? With 2 things, a nitrate source and the right environment to convert it. For men over 50, beetroot powder is one of the strongest nitrate sources available. But beetroot alone isn't enough. Not if the conversion system is broken. And most men are breaking it without knowing. Your stomach acidity drifts as you age. Too acidic? Conversion drops. Too alkaline? Conversion stops entirely. Your mouth bacteria, the ones that turn nitrates into nitrites, get wiped out by mouthwash. One rinse can shut the pathway down for half a day. Your blood vessel lining stiffens from stress, sugar, sitting, poor sleep. So even when nitric oxide appears, the vessels barely respond. That's why men say, I feel the desire, but nothing happens. It's not desire. It's conversion failure. And this is where baking soda was misunderstood. It is not a performance booster. It is not a blood flow enhancer. It does not relax vessels. But used the right way, in a tiny pinch, not the crazy doses online, it adjusts stomach acidity just enough to let the nitrate pathway switch back on. Beetroot brings the fuel. Baking soda brings the spark. Together, they create the conditions your body lost over the decades. I've seen men in their 50s, 60s, even 70s try beetroot alone and feel nothing. They had one tiny pinch of baking soda, and suddenly the system wakes up. Morning response returns. Firmness feels steadier. Pelvic tension fades. Energy rises. The entire region feels alive again. Because the moment nitric oxide rises, oxygen rises. Circulation rises. Hormonal signaling strengthens. Everything starts to synchronize again. If this is sounding familiar, if this explains your last few years, leave a number 1 in the comments. You won't believe how many men are dealing with the exact same silent problem. And stay with me, because the next part explains why this combination doesn't just help circulation, it also supports testosterone rhythm and morning performance, the piece most men never get right. Most men think testosterone is the whole story. It's not. Testosterone is the signal. Nitric oxide is the response. If the signal is there but the response is weak, performance collapses. That's why some men get blood tests showing normal testosterone, yet feel weaker, slower, and less consistent. Their vessels can't respond to the hormone anymore. And here's the part almost nobody knows. Nitric oxide controls how well your body hears testosterone, not the other way around. When nitric oxide rises, your vessels become more sensitive to the hormone you already have. You don't need a huge increase in testosterone. You need better signal reception. And this is where the beetroot, baking soda combination becomes a game changer. It doesn't force testosterone up. It clears the path for your hormones to work again. When nitrates convert properly, nitric oxide rises throughout the night. That rise does something powerful. It supports the exact rhythm your body uses to produce testosterone while you sleep. Most men don't know this. Your biggest testosterone surge happens deep in the night, not in the morning. Morning performance is the result, not the cause. If nighttime oxygen is low, if blood flow is restricted, if the vessels stay stiff, your testosterone surge gets interrupted. You wake up flat. You wake up with no response. You wake up thinking something is wrong with your desire. But desire had nothing to do with it. Your rhythm broke. When beetroot boosts nitric oxide and the stomach environment allows full conversion, oxygen delivery increases. Circulation improves. Stress signals calm down. Your system enters deeper sleep stages, the exact window where testosterone is produced. And when testosterone rises naturally at night, the vessels respond better in the morning. It feels like your body wakes up again. Men describe it like this: I didn't feel 18, but I definitely didn't feel 58 anymore. There's another layer most people miss. Stress hormones fight against testosterone. Cortisol steals your rhythm. Excess adrenaline tightens your pelvic floor. Silent inflammation interferes with nerve signals. Nitric oxide improves oxygen flow to the adrenal glands themselves. Better oxygen means less stress load. Less stress load means the testosterone rise becomes smoother. Everything starts working with you instead of against you. And then the pattern begins. Better sleep, better oxygen, better testosterone rhythm, better morning response, better confidence. That's why this approach often feels smoother than typical supplements. It doesn't spike anything. It resets the rhythm nature designed for you. If you're hearing your own story in this, tell me in the comments. What part of your rhythm has changed the most: sleep, energy, or mornings? Your answer might help another man understand what he's been dealing with. And stay with me, because next, we're going to talk about two things that sabotage your performance even if your hormones and blood flow are fine: your prostate and your pelvic floor. Most men think ED is only about blood flow and hormones. Not true. Two silent forces sit deeper in the body, and they can ruin performance even if everything else is working. Your prostate. Your pelvic floor. Let's start with the pelvic floor. It's a group of muscles underneath your pelvis, like a hammock holding everything up. When these muscles relax and tighten at the right times, they trap blood perfectly. They keep firmness stable. They control pressure. But here's the problem no one tells men over 50. These muscles tighten with stress, with sitting too long, with constipation, with years of tension you didn't even know you were holding. And when they tighten, they squeeze the very vessels responsible for blood flow. Tight muscles mean restricted flow. Restricted flow means weak pressure. Weak pressure means inconsistent performance. The worst part? Most men don't feel the tightness. They feel the result. You think you're losing power, but really your pelvic floor is clamping down like a fist. Now the prostate. Think of it as a small, sensitive, vascular sponge. When you're young, it's calm. It sits quietly. Blood flow passes freely around it. But after 50, inflammation creeps in. Not severe. Not dramatic. Just enough swelling to compress blood vessels and nerves. And here's the catch. Even mild prostate pressure can interfere with firmness. It can interrupt nerve signals. It can make the pelvic floor tense even more. It can make blood harder to trap. So men start blaming testosterone, or age, or desire, when the real issue is physical pressure right behind the scenes. This is exactly why some men feel fine one day, weak the next. Blood flow is being squeezed, not by the heart, by the structures around it. Now here's where nitric oxide becomes crucial again, not just for erections, for comfort. Higher nitric oxide improves oxygen delivery to the entire pelvic region. More oxygen means less inflammation. Less inflammation means the pelvic floor relaxes. Relaxed muscles mean better blood trapping. Better trapping means better performance. That's why many men report something surprising when they fix their nitrate pathway, not just better firmness, but a calmer feeling in the pelvis. Less pressure, less urgency, more control. If this matches what you've been feeling, the heaviness, the tension, the inconsistency, you're not imagining it. This is real physiology. It can be relieved, and it can improve faster than you think. Tell me in the comments, do your symptoms feel more like tension or more like pressure? Understanding which one you feel helps you fix the problem faster. And now that you understand the circulation, the hormones, the prostate, and the pelvic floor, it's time to pull everything together into a simple nightly routine, one that supports all 4 systems at the same time. Now that you know the systems behind ED, it's time to put everything into action. Because information alone doesn't change your body. Consistency does. And the men who see the fastest improvements, morning response, pressure control, firmness, are the ones who follow a simple nightly routine. Not complicated, not time-consuming, just strategic. Here's what works. Here's what actually supports circulation, hormones, and pelvic comfort at the same time. Start in the early evening, not right before bed, not on a full stomach. 2 hours after your last large meal, pour a glass of water. Add your beetroot powder. Add a tiny pinch of baking soda, far less than you think you need. Stir slowly. Drink slower. That small shift sets up your nitric oxide pathway for the night. Not a spike. Not a crash. Just a gradual increase the body can use. After drinking it, avoid antibacterial mouthwash. It destroys the bacteria your body needs to convert nitrates. Rinse with plain water if you need to. Give your system the bacteria it needs to work. Next, breathe. Not meditation. Not anything fancy. Just slow, deep nasal breathing for 5 minutes. Breathing through your nose increases nitric oxide inside your nasal passages. That nitric oxide travels into your lungs and from your lungs into your bloodstream. It amplifies what the beetroot is already building. Then move. Not exercise. Just light movement. A 5-minute walk. Slow stretching. Nothing heavy. Movement signals your vessels to open. It tells your endothelial lining, we need circulation now. And when your body hears that signal, it responds better through the night. Now, the part most men skip. Go to bed within 2 hours. Not 5. Not 6. Nitric oxide and sleep rhythm work together. Your deepest testosterone surge happens at night. If your body enters that window with better oxygen, better circulation, and lower pelvic tension, your next morning feels completely different. This is why men say, I didn't change much, but the difference was massive. This routine is not a quick fix. It's a restoring fix. A nightly reset for the systems you've overworked for years. And here's a final reminder. If you're on blood pressure medication or have kidney concerns, check with your clinician before adding baking soda. Not because it's dangerous, but because coordination matters. Otherwise, this routine becomes one of the safest, cleanest, most consistent ways to support male vitality after 50. If you've been looking for a plan that actually makes sense, one that connects circulation, hormones, the prostate, and the pelvic floor, this is it. Tell me in the comments, do you want a morning routine as well, or should we build on the nighttime program first? Because next, we're going to close by bringing everything together, what improves first, what changes next, and how to stay consistent long enough to feel the full transformation. Let me pull everything together for you. Because ED never comes from one problem. It's a chain. And when one link breaks, the others follow. Low nitric oxide, stiff vessel lining, pelvic tension, prostate pressure, interrupted sleep rhythm. You don't feel those things happening. You only feel the final result, the moment things don't respond the way they used to. But once you understand the chain, you can rebuild it. Piece by piece, night by night. I want to tell you about a patient I worked with. Let's call him James. He was 62. Good man. Hard worker. Never talked about himself. He came in convinced something was wrong with him. His words. Not mine. He said, I don't feel broken, but I don't feel like myself either. And I told him exactly what I've told you in this video. You're not losing masculinity. You're losing nitric oxide. So we built the same routine you just learned. beetroot at night, a pinch of baking soda, no mouthwash, breathing, light movement, sleep aligned with his rhythm. Week 1, he felt calmer, less pelvic tightness, better sleep. Week 2, morning response returned. Not perfect, but different. Alive again. Week 3, firmness became consistent. Pressure felt stable. And here's the part he didn't expect. His confidence came back before his performance did. His body followed his mind, not the other way around. That's what happens when you work with your physiology, not against it. And you can do the same thing. Not by pushing harder, not by forcing results, but by restoring the systems age slowly took from you. If you've watched this far, it tells me something important. You're not giving up. And men who don't give up always improve. Always. Drop a 2 in the comments if you're ready to start. Your comment may be the first moment another man finally admits, I'm dealing with that too. Before we wrap up, I want you to hear this. You're not weak. You're not failing. Your body isn't giving out. It's asking for support. And now you know exactly how to give it. If you want more science-based guidance without the noise and the gimmicks, make sure you hit subscribe. I post videos like this every week for men over 50 who want clarity.